Hello, entrepreneurs. I'm so feeling excited today. On weekly basis, entrepreneurs send me questions. I generally select which questions I want to do. So please leave us comments on this video, but also SMS us on a WhatsApp group for you leaving up your questions. Maybe in those questions might be something that I'm interested to answer, but we also have several coaches that coach in different things that can also assist you. Okay, entrepreneurs, today's topic. The question that got asked by Untombi, one of the NAF clients, was, Sis Precious, what are the do's and don'ts when it comes to partnership? So that's what we're going to be doing today. And I have a whole lot of a list of the things that I think you shouldn't do and the things that you should do. And I hope you're going to enjoy it. Thank you for being here. Give me a thumbs up and share the content if you find it to be useful. And if you don't like, just press the unlike button and give me the feedback that you don't like or you don't agree. That's okay too. No problem. Okay, great. So entrepreneurs, the stuff we're going to talk about on the question for today, we're going to not just look at the do's and don'ts when it comes to partnership in business, but we're also going to cover strategic partners, investors, shareholders, and even just the JVs, you know. So I just want you not to be limited in thinking this partnership is more maybe limited to people that are going to have some sort of equity. Okay, great. So I think I want to cover the principles on what you have to understand about success when it comes to business and build up a foundation. Number two, I also want us to talk about really having a clarity on the structure that is going to fit your growth plan. And I'm going to add a video that I did about 2 days ago where I was talking about a business structure. I didn't go quite deep, but I wanted just to outline the requirements when it comes to tax and which industry that structure works well, or which and what size is that appropriate. And then I want us also then to discuss when there are risks, what are the things to actually deal with and talk about. And if you feel maybe there's certain ideas I did not mention that you have used before that worked, please share that on the comment also. Okay. Number one, when it comes to principles, is that you have to understand that building a business is tough, is very hard. And because it's tough, you're gonna need to have a support. And the support that you're gonna need is not just gonna come from your family and friends, but it's also gonna come from your network. And you need to create some sort of an ecosystem to allow you to be able to build this business, this empire that you want to have, no matter what size this business will be. And the reason why you need that ecosystem, as I said, the business is tough. Why maybe business is tough is because, one, you're going to be required. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm having some sick issues. Can you just hang on a second? Let that pass. Let me try to close the window. Oh, this recording thing. Okay. Apologies for that. There's some cars cut this. Anyway, so why building a business is difficult? Number one, you need to have sufficient resources in terms of money. And most of the time when we're starting as entrepreneurs, we don't have enough money. We don't have enough assets. Number three, we don't have enough skill. And we don't have enough time to really build something that can actually grow exponentially. So because of those limited resources or limited requirements, that is why you gotta need to tap into your ecosystem. But another thing that you have to understand is that building a business is really more about maximizing the usage of resources, no matter what type of resources it is. And it's about getting Tom and Dick and Harry to do something cheaper than what you charge the client. And number three, building a business also, it's about working on a vision and a mission. Your role as a founder is to get enough followers to follow you, either as employees or as clients or as even just supporters, to then talk more about you when you're not in the room. And I think for me, that I did not know or understand until I really, really needed help. And I had not necessarily asked people, but I started getting references from people that in other instances I've just met once in my lifetime. And I realized, you gotta need to have a network. Whatever that you're doing, you're gonna do it so well that each interaction you have with other people will give you some comfort for them to talk about you when you're not in the room. And that, wow, I wish that was on my business books. So when I was learning business, that didn't happen. Number four, when you are building up and working through your business, you gotta need to figure out who you are and what you need, but also what is it that you are looking for in the market. Most entrepreneurs, they don't understand, they don't even know what are the components or the success factors or the contributors to their industry. They go to the industry without understanding that you gotta need to know what's the recipe for success for that industry. You gotta need to have some sort of a mind map on saying, okay, I'm gonna start here. This is where I wanna go and which model I'm gonna follow. Therefore, you gotta need to think about what's the right structure and what's the right model and how will I achieve that to actually build up to this growth plan. I just wanna say, as I said, you don't have enough of whatever that is gonna be required in business. But just also remember, as Africans, there's a proverb, I don't know if it's true or not, but that usually says that it takes a village to raise a child. I think it applies exactly the same for business. It will take a village. And I also just want to say that for you to attract or find the partner, the investor, the strategic joint venture or operational or project joint venture, or whoever that you are looking for, you're gonna need to become the person you're looking for. And I think sometimes as entrepreneurs or as human beings in general, we will want to have good people around us, but we ourselves are not holding ourselves accountable to become the people that we want to attract. Okay, so as you are building your business, you're gonna find out that no matter how well you do or run your business, it is only a business when that business exists without you. Because if that business cannot exist without you, then you're not running a business. You're not running a business. Just a matter of time because it shuts down. That's not a business. Just I don't know what we call it. So your aim is to start it and then exit it. Your aim is start it and exit it. How long does that take? Oh, I can't tell you. I don't think anyone knows how long it should be. But I'm saying from day one, you start your business, you have to plan your exit. And most entrepreneurs do not have that in mind. Instead, what we do as entrepreneurs, especially professionals like myself, we actually create jobs for ourselves. And I think personally, I have struggled with that. And I think to some extent, I'm still struggling with that. But I love what I do. I've settled myself that I guess I have created a self-employment for myself, and that's okay. Okay. So those are the principles around you deciding whether you're gonna go with partnership or not. I've just given you what happens, what's the problem, and what are the issues, but also maybe being transparent that it's practically impossible. It's like close, really impossible to build anything that has a value on your own. You're gonna need to build it with people around you. Okay, so what are the do's and don'ts? Number one, find people who have what you don't have. So maybe let's just say you are looking for business skills. Get the business skills that you do not have or that are difficult for you. So I will make an example. If you a person who is in communication, you should therefore find people that have some sort of business comics or something like that. And if maybe you have the other one, maybe, but also if you are an operations person, don't go and find another operations person, rather find someone who comes and bring a different skill set or experiences. So when you are looking for people, make sure though the stuff that you do not have, those people have actually demonstrated that they can deliver on what they say they can deliver on. So that leads me to number two when it comes to what are the do's. Verify what these people or whoever that you're bringing on board, what they are claiming they will provide you. Number three, try to figure out and find out what are their core values. And I know this is difficult. Oof. This is really difficult to figure out. It's really difficult to figure out. But I think for me, when I was asking that question or when I was figuring out to partner or not to partner, it was very clear that I will only get involved with partners that hold Christianity values to their core, not just the Sunday people, but the people that hold Christ in their hearts on day to day. But that doesn't mean each time we meet, we're like, hallelujah, hallelujah, no, but I mean, they live the Spirit of the Lord. That was important to me because I had found that if I had chosen that way, certain things consistently just get aligned properly. Because previously I had been involved in partnerships where that was not my priority. So when I got matured in it, then it was clear to me, I have to find partners that have a right core values. And then I also think in number 4 on this is that you have to get into a relationship with someone, but court them like the same way, like as what we will call it in English. I mean, nijole qala, you know, date first as this new partner, date each other before you sign the marriage certificate documents. And it's the same way with partners, whether it's a business partner, strategy, or an investor. Date each other. Have a cool off period. It's okay, we're gonna get into this deal. In that arrangement, when you're signing, have a cool off period. And then you say, if during this cool off period, this does not work, this is the exit. Number 5, this one I really want you to just make sure that you build up, is that when there's a pressure to execute, watch out for that. That's already, when there's a pressure to sign things without you taking time to get used or understand what's going on, already that's a red flag. You shouldn't get into that deal. Don't be too hungry that it's your tummy or your stomach that is making a decision for you. Use your brain. Number 6, okay. Know what you are willing to accept in a deal, what you are willing to accept and what you are not willing to accept, and be transparent about that. So I usually share this experience with entrepreneurs that attend my classes. I was once invited by City of Johannesburg to assist non-cooperatives, cooperatives that were under, I think it was arts and culture and parks. It was parks, Johannesburg Parks. And my role, they said, there's a lot of tenders and work that we need to be dishing out to these communities within Soweto. And we have non-cooperatives, it's about more than 20 of them, close to 80 people that are in terms of the warm borders, but we just are struggling to get them to do business with us. We don't know what's wrong. Guys, when I went there, you know, if I were to take my dog, you'll see some gray hair. I had a week. I had one co-op coming. And if I were to summarize the report after that week of coaching them 2 hours in this, what was very clear is that I don't know whether it's just Black people in general, but you know what, forgive me if it doesn't apply in your community, but in my community, plus also in that group that I did that work, what was clear was, you know, a Black man can have a nice Black Forest cake, right? And they will have a donut, right? And they will leave the Black Forest cake and fight about a donut. And when they're fighting about the donut, they are fighting about the whole, not even the crust of a donut. That was my conclusion. I mean, I just, I actually lost a hope. You know, I just lost hope. You know, one of the reasons why I just lost hope from that was because I grew up in rural areas. And as a rural child, my understanding or sense of community was that I was not just a child of my household, but I was a child of my village. If a next door neighbor saw me doing something, she will get a stick or whatever. And she will only talk to my a guardian or whoever who was looking after me at the time, talk to them after she has acted on dealing with the issue of anything that I was doing. And I also knew and understood that, but in addition to that, as growing up in rural, I was also taught that when you had seeds, you had more seeds, you will share with your neighbor, you will exchange or barter with your neighbor, and you will share the stuff that is excess, even if maybe the other neighbor can't give you anything back. Because the needs of that neighbor is the need of the whole society. And then the last, I think, principle that I felt was really missing from that group was that somehow people were more attached on saying things like, I'm the one who started this co-op, I'm the one who brought you in, or things like, I know better than you. And in other instances, I've done the following and I therefore deserve this. I was taught that umuntu ngabantu, which basically means I am because of you. You are because of me. And oh, guys, anyway, so all I concluded after that was that, as I said, a Black man will have a full forest cake, will leave the forest cake, get it stale, and then go to the donut. And when they go to the donut and fight about the hole on the donut, not even deal with the crust. And that a person will rather own 100% of zero. It's not funny though. A Black person in that group specifically was that a person would rather own 100% of zero than owning a 1% or a 2% of a 1 million or even 5 million or whatever. And I mean, at some point I even thought, is it a mathematical issue or not? I just, anyway, I stopped analyzing it. And I think after that week, I remember crying, like literally crying, because what was painful to me about that lesson was that I had like literally abandoned my career to do this type of work. And that just gave me an indication that if the mindset of the people I'm going to work with are like this, what hope do I have of being successful at it? I mean, I really literally cried and saying that, have I sacrificed myself for this? Is it worth it? And yeah. But yeah, that anyway, this just drives me to a bad energy. Oh. Anyway, okay, let's move on. And I hope my lessons to you and my story gives you some insight on what is happening in the market. And I don't know, I kind of also just feel, is it a Joburg thing? Because this group was coming from Soweto, or is it just Black people in general? I don't know. Please give me a shot and tell me what you think. I don't know, share your experience. Because even later I got approached by several entrepreneurs that had fights between shareholders and directors. And same thing was coming through, same thing was actually coming through. I think we do lack leadership. We do lack the ability to know when to say no. I think there's lots of egos. People will rather keep an ego than keep the bank account, or keep money, Their egos are way too expensive. Anyway, okay. So I also want to say that when you are clear about what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept, you have a clear line of what is it, and you therefore have to have another action, which is number 7, which now says that you must make sure that when there is a dispute or disagreement, make sure in the agreement is clear on what will be the process to deal with that disagreement. And number 8, make sure whoever that you're gonna work with or partner with, that you actually have an ultimate common vision and mission. What I found also in other instances, people didn't have a common vision, did not have a common mission. Number 9, put things in writing to assist you to facilitate the process quicker, so that you can also hold each other accountable. So with this one, I'm just adding it in because it assists when there's money involved all the time. However, I want to also say that I have found that most of the relationships that have worked for me, they were not necessarily in writing. They were mutual agreements, and they still got honored because I made sure that the values are right. I was certain that the values are right. So, but I think always just put things in writing. And I think the last one, number 10, on the do's. Select the partner or a strategic partner then that you can hold accountable, that you are not intimidated by them. So what do I mean? I am saying, how would you know whether the partner, you can hold the partner accountable, is when you can tell the partner what exactly you think without filtering it. Then you will know you can hold that partner accountable. So don't go to relationships or partnerships where you feel inferior. If you feel inferior, it also means you're undermining your own value. You're undermining the project or the work that you're putting in. So just don't go to relationships where you do not feel you are actually empowered, because which means on any negotiations or any discussion, you're always going to be saying yes, 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 without realizing you're undermining your role and also your contribution. So as for the dons, do the opposite. The dons are the opposite of what I've just discussed in here. So I'm giving you what you should do. Again, you decide. I'm just providing the advice based on my experience. And with that, close to 100 people, plus also my over 20 years experience. And for the past 15 years old, I have been in partnerships, in different types of partnership, and so on. So when I was talking about putting things into writing, I'm also saying, even if it's shareholders, make sure that there's a shareholders agreement. When you are still in discussion, have a non-disclosure agreement that the person should not be disclosing with people. But I think when you take yourself serious, when you can hold yourself accountable, you will therefore also be accountable, and you will also attract the people that you want in your business. So become the person that you want to be, to attract into your business. And I hope this, Ntombi, is giving you some insight on what you have in place and how to build it up. But I just want to mention, this is a bonus. This is really a bonus. You don't need to be a director to be a shareholder, for you to own a shares in any business. Always consider rather owning the shares than being a shareholder and a director. So when you're looking for partners, always understand there's different types and mix. And also just make sure that when maybe it's a funder or someone who's going to bring you a certain skill, make sure you have checked, you have the claims, whatever people are claiming, you've checked for their qualification, you've checked with people, you've done some references, you have asked them who have they worked with, and you check up on that. People sell you a whole lot of things. I have found, especially when I moved to Joburg, people tend to oversell what they do than the real thing. So yeah, thank you so much. Give me thumbs up if you like what we have covered today. If you don't like, just leave me the comments. And if there are things that you have tried that have not worked, give me feedback. And I will see why, because all of this will apply circumstances by circumstance, but I'm just providing with a generic approach into it. And thank you so much for being here today. Goodbye.